And we are live. Welcome everyone to Tom Sequitur's stream, the first one for the year 2017. I'd like to be the first here to talk to you all and say Happy New Year. And well, we've got a few good things, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to answer Carlos, because Carlos asked me why haven't we seen Tom for so. Well, we haven't seen Tom for such a long time because I don't know. I haven't seen him at all. I have no idea why.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's how it is. I've been trying to get in touch with him, but I can't. If anyone achieved reaching him, I would prefer to hear about it. I would love to hear about it because I really hope the dude's doing well, but I have no idea.
I miss him. I really do.
Yeah, me too. And I would like to change the picture that we're using because I get the feeling that Urkel isn't the best face for us.
Well, you could always change it.
Who is
Well,
NC?
you can't.
Wait, hi there, Warped Reflection. Who is NC?
NC?
Yeah, Warped Reflection said you're streaming at the same
MC
time.
Clark.
NC
MC
Clark.
Clark.
Who's that?
She's a YouTuber. She's okay.
Okay, I
She's
don't
not
know her.
okay. She's brilliant. She's not okay.
Hello,
They're funny.
everyone.
Hey, and there is our little Rin. Hey, Rin.
Hello.
Hey, everyone. Hey,
Thank you
Mary.
for coming.
Carlos.
Well, we haven't really
Hello.
started yet, so that's good. I should turn on screen sharing again. Sorry for that. Whilst I'm screen sharing, I can't pay attention to the chat. I'm sorry. But yeah, there you have it. So,
Don't apologize to these motherfuckers, do you think?
yes.
Exactly. Never apologize.
Hoppa. Okay, I should be. No, I'm not screen sharing yet. I made a mistake. Come on, screen share up. Where are you? There you are. Start screen sharing. Click, click, click. Okay, so this is the first thing we're going to do. This is an article sent to me by Coconut. Coconut found this one. New York City issues its America's first intersex birth certificate. Coconut, take it away.
Oh, well, I was just looking around and stuff, and I found that, in being a New Yorker, that was quite fun. Pretty easy to see since it's all over the fucking news right now. Yeah, so I just thought you'd just share it with you guys.
Well, I'm just curious to know if New York wants a medal or a monument over that. Because if they want a monument, I have to say, I can't pile shit that high.
Well, first they started with recognizing, what was it, 50 genders or 55, whatever.
I thought it was 70 something.
70 something.
Wasn't it 74?
It might have been 74.
And then most of them were, well, basically the same thing, but just with different names. Well, yeah, I'm gender fluid. I am
Gender
he
noir.
for she. Bloody bullshit.
Grey gender.
Yeah,
You're
good
not
gender.
ordinary.
Guys, you have to remember, semen is the original gender fluid.
Oh, you nasty bastard, you. Anywho, go on, sorry.
Go on. Do you want to read it or something?
Read
Okay. At age 55, Sarah Kelly Keenan, I would say.
Keenan.
Keenan, yeah, finally has an accurate birth certificate, and it's believed that to be the first one of the nation, says intersex in the gender field. The California was born intersex in New York City with a condition known as Swyer syndrome, which prevents the body from producing sex hormones. Keenan, who uses female pronouns, was born with male genes, female genitalia, and a mixed internal reproductive organs. She is initially issued a male birth certificate, which was changed to female 3 weeks later. Her parents did not reveal her condition to her, instead of telling her that she was a girl who couldn't make hormones. Keenan visits a endocrinologist.
Endocrinologist.
endocrinologist 7 years ago who confirmed her suspicion that she was intersexed. In September, Keenan became the second person in the country to legally change her gender to non-binary. She applied for the gender change after another person, Jamie Shoup, successfully argued the gender change law was to allow trans people to legally change their gender and should also apply to people who don't identify with male or female. New York City Department of Health mental hygiene issued Keenan a new birth certificate after she provided medical documentation. Intersex advocacy group Interact believes that Keenan's intersex birth certificate is the first issued in the United States. They know of one that has been reissued by, to say, hermaphrodite, and several others that don't have a specific sex. I switched that over. Her attorney told NBC that the birth certificate were often used to accessing public services and documents like state IDs and passports. Not all intersex people will choose to identify legally as intersex. Keenan told NBC, not all parents will choose to have their intersex child identify as intersex on birth documents, but for those who do, the option must exist. Trying to get intersex non-binary printed on a driver's license and passports is the next step for both Keenan and Shoup. Though passports will involve State Department, this battle was not soon over. Sorry,
Okay,
I'm pretty sick right now, so my reading is like messed up.
Can I say something? Oh shit, I'm muted, am I?
No, you're not.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No, it's just I love the way that you say intersex, like, you know, the American way, and I definitely prefer intersex to outer sex.
I see a problem if they do issue a passport. I see a problem with her, the person in question, Keenan, traveling to many countries.
Yes.
They will not allow her in.
This will be an
her
issue,
in.
yes. But one of the reasons I found this a very good article, because when I saw it first, and before reading it, I was like, oh my fucking God, New York is at it again. But in this case, I actually think it made sense. I mean, this is a person who really isn't man or woman.
Well, no, they're a combination of man and woman. They're not. Yeah, they're not neither. They're both.
Yeah,
they're not actually both. Sorry,
yeah,
go on. What were you going to say? What were you going to say?
Well, at least she really is like intersex, unlike those Tumblrites. Like, oh yeah, I'm gender binary, I'm gender fluid. I mean, at least she has to confirm. It's actually been confirmed that she actually is intersex, as opposed to a bunch of people making up shit for themselves.
Yeah. Well, she's not 100% what most people would consider intersex, but yeah, it gets as close to it as it can be. I mean, Swyer syndrome is known.
Yeah. I mean, to make it close, there's no such thing as a perfect hermaphrodite. It's all gonna be mixed up and what shit, you know?
Well, there have been some people born as hermaphrodite with both physical gender characteristics as well. It has happened. But they are by far the exception. It doesn't happen often.
I mean, if perfect hermaphrodite, you mean like they have the genitalia that are perfectly formed and can work?
No, they don't work.
No,
there never has been a hermaphrodite with working.
Yes.
I mean worms, slugs, those invertebrates, some invertebrates.
Yeah, but not in humans.
No.
Not
I mean, they have perfectly formed genitalia,
exactly,
but they're there, but that's
sterile.
about it.
That's it.
I posted a link here in the chat if you guys want to. That's the actual scientific reference. Then the United States National Library of Medicine. That's the page you should go. Everyone should go there to see stuff. But these are actually peer-reviewed and real stuff, not like Tumblr.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
but that was my
missing
first.
The tranny pictures. Where are the tranny pictures?
The frequency is 1 in 80,000 people, so it's very rare.
Yeah, and it does happen more often than not. Well, that's not true, but it does happen more often than we are aware of. That people get born with a variation of the double X or XY chromosome thing.
That's
I mean,
exactly what they say in queer kid stuff, right? So they're right.
yeah, the difference is that when they talk about it in queer kid stuff, they make it sound like this is a common thing, and they
Yeah.
try to give people
It happens to everybody.
which it really doesn't.
No,
I
it
mean,
doesn't.
at this point in time, we have people pushing gender dysphoria on kids because a boy wants to play with dolls ever so once in a while, which is perfectly normal behavior. You're not a girl because you want to play with dolls.
For crying's sake, I
Okay,
was
life
the
toys.
biggest tomboy you could ever think of when I was a little girl, okay?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
I had
that.
dinosaur wallpaper. I was obsessed with dragons, okay? There was nothing wrong with me. If I lived in this day and age, people would try to be pushing that stupid hormone therapy on me.
Yeah, nowadays, if you're a girl and you play with dinosaurs, it's like, oh, you may have gender dysphoria. You should get your own hormones immediately.
Yeah, let's chemically castrate you right here, right now, right?
We laugh at that, but I think the kids actually, if the parents are that stupid, I think the kids they should be castrated so they won't pass on those idiot genes that their parents have.
That's
Yeah, but
another thing.
That's
Yeah.
unfair, though. You can't blame the children for the fuck-ups of the parents.
The parents castrate the kids, so that's good. That's a good thing. The genetics of idiocy stops there.
I feel sorry for the kid. I mean, in all fairness,
yes, absolutely.
there is a reason why, if we look at suicide, the largest demographic in suicides are transgenders.
Yes.
Both in trying to commit suicide and succeeding in to commit suicide. Yes, if we look at it in a sexist thing, men commit more suicide than women do. But if we look at transgender and cisgendered and heterosexual and homosexual, transgenders top every category other than transgender.
And no one's bringing up the question. Maybe it's something
Yeah.
in the mind, you know. It's a mental condition. It's something I deal with personally. I mean, I don't know. It's boggling.
Yeah,
I don't.
you cannot bring that up without somebody screaming bigots, transphobia, without people trying to silence you and shame you, you know,
Yeah.
or get you fired from your job.
Why can't we do more research on it? But it's a forbidden topic, you know.
Yeah, it's I'm sorry, I'm also typing, which is
Yeah.
never a good thing for me. But yeah, we have a new issue because of the whole transgender thingy, and I don't understand how come we live in a society where we force people to think in certain ways, even if we have nothing to base it on.
Oh, that really sucks.
Good question.
I mean, even from a Pentecostal Christian family, and it's kind of a lot like growing up in the Pentecostal family. It's like my mother kept shoving the Bible down my throat as a child, and I rejected the Bible at a very early age because it was just shoved down my throat. I mean, it's kind of a lot like while other kids were having fun, I was just stuck at home reading several chapters of the Bible. It was kind of like just rejected Christianity at a very early age. It's like, nope, not a Christian. This is just too much. You know?
That's something different.
There's more to it. Like every day, my mother would just call me like a devil worshiper, or every day my mother would say, "You're going to go to hell. You're going to go to hell." And I was just, like at first, I was really upset because if you tell like a third grader that they're going to go to hell, obviously that's going to have a negative impact. But after a while, I just didn't care anymore. It's like, fine, then I'm going to go to hell. I don't care anymore.
Yep, but that's the thing, though, and this is what we see is happening in society at large, basically on a different topic. But for years, we've been being called misogynist and racist and homophobe, and Islamophobe and all sorts of phobes because we didn't agree with some extreme left-wing narrative. Nowadays, people are like, you know what? You call me a racist. I don't mind.
Yes, exactly. I noticed that too. Like, I noticed, like, what's happening to society is really similar to what happened to me in my childhood. Like, at first, my mother kept telling me I was going to go to hell. Like, as a third grader, I was like really upset, and I tried reading the Bible on my own, and I tried changing. But then after a while, I just didn't care anymore. It's like, I'm going to go to hell then. Fuck, I just don't give a shit.
You're gonna go to hell anyway.
Yeah.
So did she not?
Where
tell
white
you-
people are like, oh no, I don't want to be racist. I don't want to be racist. Like, let me change. But then after a while, it's like, fuck, call me a racist. I don't give a shit anymore.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, like, your mom told you you're gonna go to hell to change you, right? To better you or something.
Yeah, she
So-
tried to change me. She tried to, convert me, make me really religious. And it worked for a while. Like, it worked for like a year, but then she kept doing it. She couldn't stop telling me that I was going to go to hell. So eventually, her against her because I just didn't care anymore. She should have just quit while she was ahead.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like, well, I'm like reading the Bible and praying on my own. Quit while you're ahead. Don't keep saying you're gonna go to hell. And that's also what I noticed with white people. It's like, you're a racist bigot. You're a racist bigot. And then people like are really nervous, not trying to change, but they don't quit while they're ahead. They just keep going. You're still racist. Well, you're still racist. So eventually, it's like, fuck that shit. And I could also see why some go even further and go to the alts rights and the opposite extreme, because it's kind of like they keep telling people keep saying you're bad because you're white, you're horrible because you're white, and these people are just looking for an excuse to feel good about themselves.
Which is weird, which doesn't make any sense. But then again, that's just me, I guess.
It's the boy who cried wolf syndrome. That's
Yes.
they've desensitized a lot of words and people.
Yeah, they've completely destroyed the meaning of a lot of words now. And
Yeah, exactly. You become desensitized to the word. Like at first you're really upset and you're hurt and whatnot. But if you get called racist every day after day after day, eventually we can be desensitized because you realize people who don't agree with them are racist.
Mhm.
It's like even if you're black but you don't agree with them, you're still racist.
they'll call you a coon, and that's fucking
Yep.
stupid.
That Bronx
Oreo.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. That Bronx,
Nigga.
something Bronx. That's been in fights on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have seen. I can't remember his name. He's not important. So.
It is kind of weird though. But the thing that I found really interesting though, as I said, this is one of the few times when I'm actually in favor of calling someone intersex. And if you read the article, the woman herself claims, or well, let's call her woman because she called herself woman.
Yep.
And,
Well, yeah,
and
she's
she wanted to be known as intersex, but she still addresses herself as a woman and her.
it's corresponding to the genitalia that she has.
That's why I sort of more than accept, because even though she has the syndrome, she still doesn't go for the stupid made-up pronouns that.
No, she's still within the binary.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Z, zer, beer,
bellies and dips. I hate being called it though.
No, that's listen. It's quite simple. I've said this once before, and I'll say it again. Whenever I'm in New York, my pronoun is master.
Yep, and
I'm the Duchess anyway.
I'm His Royal Highness.
His Royal Highness. So there is his.
Yes, yes, my pronouns are goddess.
No, okay, just Royal Highness then.
Royal
Just-
Highness.
Yeah, Royal Highness.
Someone else came up and said, "Well, no, you can call yourself master. I'm overlord." But I guess that's why New York put a limit on the allowed number of pronouns, though. I think it's at 74 or something. Because all the other ones aren't real. These are
But again, this is a fine line here. Okay, I completely agree. If they have a legitimate reason to do this to the birth certificate, like she did, what's going to stop a parent who gives birth to ask the doctors to put something like that on the birth certificate? You know,
yeah.
and not be ostracized. You know.
Well, it is scary, to be honest.
There should be a medical reason, and a real medical reason. Not just,
But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. They can just sue you, you know.
At this point in time in New
Yes,
York,
they can,
yes. In Canada, yes. But that's because they let go of reality and started to cater to idiocy, fantasy. I mean, I work in psychiatry. When I have someone who comes up to me and he's hallucinating, I do not follow their hallucination. I don't go along with their hallucination.
Person who has schizophrenia and believes the voices in their head there is real, you know.
Yeah, that's
you
okay.
You don't follow along with them.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because I forgot his name, but Crowder, I think it was Crowder. He actually did a video where he went into a woman's bathroom, bathroom in a city, and a woman complained about him being there. Well, I can understand that. I mean, I think it's rubbish, but okay, I can understand that. So the woman called out the manager, and the manager came, and he said, "Well, I identify as a woman." Boom! Discussion over. You can see the manager standing there like, well, fuck that.
Yeah, the woman shrugged. She shrugged like she couldn't do anything. She couldn't say anything. It was just
Situation's over.
Absolutely terrible. I mean, how terrified they were.
Also, because it's kind of like if you really are like, if you really are transgender, like, and I think that I forgot his name, Yo Kudo or something. He's the one with an anti-feminist with a skull icon. I think his name is Yorick. And he's like, well, I'm trans, and I wouldn't mind, using a separate bathroom, and I could pass along for the other gender, and like go to the bathroom and pass.
Well, the real thing I found so worrying about that, I don't care if a man goes into a woman's bathroom or vice versa. I don't give a fuck. As long as they don't commit crimes there, it's not a big issue. I mean, people make it an issue. Well, maybe because I'm Dutch, but it doesn't really make a difference. I'm sorry, if you go to the pot and you poo in a woman's pot or you poo in a man's pot, do you think the poo cares? Do you think the pot cares?
Nah.
Yeah, so what are we worrying about?
The bathrooms where I work are unisex.
Yeah.
It just has 3 stalls and each stall has a lock.
Yep.
So,
yeah, the complaints on the rights is that there are people who are just taking a video camera and recording everything that they see in the bathroom.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is kind of funny because this is an argument. I'm sorry, Wolf Reflection typed an argument. Rapey Muslim mans will be using that excuse next. The thing is, we've had bathroom rapes in the past. When men weren't allowed to go into female bathrooms, we still had rapes.
That's exactly like the point with rape culture, when people discuss rape culture and say we gotta stop men from raping. Rapists are not going to stop because you told them no.
and I don't think people will start raping more because they are allowed in a different bathroom stall. I mean, I seriously don't see that happening. Or at least we don't see that happening in the Netherlands. And we have lots of unisex bathrooms. So the whole bathroom bullshit thing is not really the issue. But what I did found interesting is that the woman came and complained, and the manager wanted to do something, and then the guy said, "Yeah, but I identify as a woman." And with that, the whole discussion was
He
stopped.
didn't identify as a woman.
he
He
couldn't-
identified as a non-binary, gender fluid. You know.
Yeah, but at the same time, the whole discussion stopped because the manager couldn't say, "Well, no, sir, you're not allowed to go there. That's for women." And why couldn't he do that? Because if he did, he would get fined.
Oh yeah.
So basically, we have a law system that prevents people from being people.
Yeah.
Yeah, why can't there just be business rights where it's up to a business to decide whether he wants to do it or not? Just that businesses make their own choices. People could shop their place.
Well, yeah, businesses can make their own choices. They're forced to. So a lot of them don't want to make unisex bathrooms because it costs money.
Well, there is that, but I mean, it doesn't even make a difference. I mean, don't you want to make unisex bathrooms? Then don't. Who gives a fuck? They're bathrooms.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah,
You're going in, you do your business, you go out.
it's like 12 seconds or more, you know,
Well,
less than 5 minutes, you know.
It depends on what I have to do, but yeah,
right?
it's not going to be long.
Yeah,
It's a moment in life.
what's annoys me is that the government is trying to infringe on business rights, where they're trying to make it a government decision. Where I don't think that's right. The businesses should be able to do whatever they want, and a customer can go there or boycott the place.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes no sense to me. But this is Bill 16 in Canada as well. And I'm in a way happy that it hasn't completely turned up in Europe yet. But I am a little bit worried that it will, to be honest.
Not in Portugal.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. We are so afraid of authoritarianisms that, like I've repeated this so many times. I'm not going to say it again. We don't like extremes. We are very centrist.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. I really do. But then again, I saw stuff where school kids were forced to go to a mosque and pray like a Muslim.
Holland, Denmark, Germany.
I saw it in
Britain,
Denmark, I saw it in Germany, I saw it in Great Britain, and at that time it hadn't happened in the Netherlands yet, and I was sure that it wouldn't happen in the Netherlands, but it has. It's me.
But that's it wouldn't happen here in Portugal because the teachers here, they don't give a shit about the students or about any politicizing or anything. Well, all they want is their pay pack at the end of the month and get past the course material as fast as they can. They are interested in other things. That's it. That's all. They don't care. They absolutely don't care.
No.
Though, I mean, I am a bit afraid of authoritarianism in the United States. Like, you hear that there are teachers getting fired for stating that there are only two. And it's like, it's stupid to lose your job over that. It's really crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's the SDW mentality. The social dominance warrior.
Yeah, there are teachers that I've spoken to that are afraid to express their real opinions because they'll get.
Well, they see examples of the teacher in Canada who had to quit his job because he said, even though he said he didn't agree with abortion, and one of his students got really offended about it, and he got freaking fired for it.
Yeah, we punish people for wrong think now. You think the wrong thing, fired. It's just crazy, you know. Students should be able to hear a different points of view without drawing a connection.
Yep.
I mean, a different opinion exposed to different ideas isn't going to hurt you.
Well, I don't care people doing whatever the hell they want as long as it doesn't affect others. I have a problem with it when it becomes obligatory, when you're forced.
Yeah.
That's just me, though.
Here we mock people who attack or who try to do the hive mentality. I'll give you two examples that were sort of trending here in Portugal. They trended so much I didn't even really hear about it, except in the pink sections of magazines or newspapers. You know, the gossip type magazines, which I don't read. A couple of artists and personalities sort of said bad things about a province. It's sort of a province we have. It's called the Alentejo. It's got a reputation of being really, really, really laid back, almost to the point of being lazy. They make jokes on television about that and everything. And these two guys, independently, one wrote a book, I think, and one wrote a book and said shit things about that. The firestorm on Twitter erupted. The guys in question basically said, "Fuck off! We're not going to apologize." And then the radio started making jokes about the snowflakes complaining, and they even made a joke about like an interviewing a fire chief saying, "Oh, we have the incendiary device basically controlled. We have the fire controlled, and everything's going good. So people, if don't start fires on their social media." I cracked myself. They mock them here because it's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, it is.
It's ridiculous.
It is. It is.
And while they still mock them, I will be forever hopeful that we won't catch that disease. Yeah.
I kind of, in all fairness though, because if I look at, for example, here, if my kid, he's young now, so he's just born, so he's really young. But if my kid would go to school and he would be forced by school to go to a mosque, I will make sure I'm going along. Just to make sure.
Yeah, it's just authoritarian to me. I mean,
Yeah, it does.
way too authoritarian. There should be more liberty to do more things.
Yeah, but it's really weird though, because if we look in Germany, if we look in the Netherlands, we have laws preventing schools to force religion on them.
Yeah, and then you have to pay 200 euros.
Well, you don't want to be Islamophobic, do you?
It doesn't matter what phobe I want to be. I mean, if I'm not to be forced in any religion, why am I being forced to go into that religion? It's a religion still.
It's a race.
No, it's not.
Yeah, right. Well,
I mean, I don't
not
change
just
race
religion,
just because I change religion.
Political.
Yeah, it's
They want
well,
race
it's,
status.
Yeah, but the social justice wars, they getting their way on everything. Well, except for the presidential candidate.
Because they prey on morality. It's their thing. They give a case that were feelings. There's no facts.
Exactly. Social justice warriors are used to getting their way. People always give in and submit to them or get fired. You either give in, you give them what they want, or you get fired from your job. You don't really.
Yeah, because they prey on the people's morality. They present a case that plays on their morality, whether it's like all fairness for all. That sounds good, right? But let's forget about the oppressors, right?
well, it is
the white
worrying.
men are the oppressors, and anybody that isn't a white man is the oppressed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's worrying to me. Anyway, let's go on to the second topic I had planned for tonight. Let me see if I can screen share the bloody thing. There we go. Okay, people in the chat, sorry, I will not be paying attention to the chat right now because I am looking at this bloody stupid drawing thingy from Everyday Feminism.
I bet I can draw better than that.
I can't draw, and I can draw better than this. I've been to the toilet, and I did better than this. But that's not nice of me to say.
Toilet paper.
Hey, I made one that looked like Elvis. Anyway.
Photos or it didn't happen.
Screenshots. Anyway, this is the thing.
Your toilet paper.
You guys can see what I'm seeing. When you're dating, you may get lots of advice on keeping yourself safe because, hey, you're a feminist. Being safe is all that matters. And if something bad happens, you're blamed for not properly calculating the risks or what gives. This is their opening text. This is funny. I'm not going to do the rest of the opening text. I'm going to scroll it up a bit. So
it's not like a game, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, and in the end we all lose. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to finally meet you. Apparently this woman, and I assume the woman will be in purple and the man will be in green. So I'm looking forward to finally meet you this weekend. Me too. Where should we meet? Okay, where do you live? I'll pick you up and we go back to my place. Actually, let's meet downtown. So here's the first thing that comes to my mind. I'm going to meet you. Your question to me is, where do we meet? That means to me, you have no idea, so you want me to make a plan.
Yeah.
Right?
Right? Yeah. Your responsibility is on you to make the plans for the date. Yeah.
So I make a plan, and then the first thing you say, actually, let's meet downtown. There's a bar I like on College Street, or there is somewhere you'd prefer to grab a drink, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
she just went way over him. Okay.
Indeed.
She asked a question and then she answered it herself. What the fuck?
Well, it's not so much that she asked the question and
Well,
answered it herself.
It's more like I don't want to shag on the first date. I don't really want to fuck, right?
Well,
We
that
go
I
to-
can
back
understand
to my
that.
place, that's code for okay, let's shag, and she says,
Yeah.
well, not away, let's go downtown first.
I totally agree with that. But then why didn't she, instead of saying, me too, where should we meet? Why didn't she then say, me too, know this and this pub, I'll meet you there at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted to check out first, though.
But again,
whether he
why
was,
would you assume that?
whether he was going that far, on the first date.
Well, yeah, but why would you assume if
To
you went over
dance.
to his place, he wanted do the thing, you know?
Well,
Because that's just code adults, That's just
maybe.
how that works.
You got a good point. It could be true, Raven. But even if that is true, it could have all been prevented if she didn't say, where should we meet?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I read that differently. When she said, where should we meet? I feel like she meant someplace publicly, because usually when it comes to dating people online, people usually want to meet at a crowded place for safety reasons. And it could be any place as long as there's a crowd, like a mall or a zoo, as long as there's a lot of people.
Yeah,
there.
that's basically her reasoning as well, because that's why she say, let's meet downtown.
Yeah.
It's right here. Oh, no, I can't brag on it. But here, where my mouse is now. Can you see my mouse? No, you can't. Well, maybe you can. Anyway, let's meet downtown. I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying, let's meet downtown. But if you want to meet someone where there's lots of people, don't ask them what they want to do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If I come to you and I say, we're married or whatever, what do you want to eat tonight? And then you say something, and I go like, yeah. Let's do something else.
Yeah, let's do something else. Yeah, that's,
Why the
that's
fuck
quite-
ask me?
Why ask
read
in
her
the
mind.
first place when you already have plans in your mind?
You could have read her mind and it
Yes,
like,
but
you're my soulmate. You read
Yes.
my mind.
but you can even see that in the response. I mean, it's no problem. I can pick you up and we can hang out at my house. I make some martini. Okay, the dude might be a serial rapist, or he might just trying to be nice.
He's nice.
Yeah.
And then I'd really rather meet downtown in a bar or something. That would be a lot more comfortable for me for our first meeting. I'm sorry, Rin. What did you say?
What I was saying is, like, in America, it's more common when you're meeting a person for the first time online that people normally, it's an American custom that people normally want to meet at a crowded area like a mall, a
Yeah.
zoo.
That's not weird though, because that's the same in Europe, I think.
At all, as long as because
As long as there are other people.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the same is true in Europe. I don't think we go out to each other's house on a first date, do we?
No. We wouldn't.
So to begin with, that this dude suggests to go to his place, yeah,
Unless you're
that's
6 years old or something.
yeah. But that's
Catfishing.
yeah, but it's a little bit forward. He's being a little bit forward.
Yeah.
But then again, she opened the door for him. Instead of saying, "Hey, shall we meet there and then?" She's like, "Okay, you make the plans." And then when he does make the plans, and then his response, "I'd really rather meet downtown in a bar or something." Again, this is 2 times you say you want to meet downtown. Then why are you asking me? Why are you asking me where we should meet? Am I overthinking this?
Yeah, you are.
No, the author wanted to make emphasis that he was insisting.
Yeah, insisting.
Insisting,
That's
yeah.
fine.
So-
We have to go to my bio.
Because no one does. You look at the response, the last one, where it said, "Wow, I think it's pretty messed up that you just default assuming I'm a creepy rapist or something."
No one
Shit.
responds like that.
And see the picture on the sigh. Really? I've never. That's like. That guy, if a real guy, would never date anyone in his fucking life if he went that way.
Well, it's even worse. I mean, if I try to make a date with a girl and at the conversation when we're talking about where shall we meet, and she gives me the feeling that she thinks I'm a rapist, I'm not even sure if I'm going to show up.
Right?
The normal response to her first one is when she said, "Oh, we can go downtown." I'd say, "Okay, I know a couple of bars there. Let's meet
Yeah,
there."
sure, let's meet there.
There's no other response.
I don't know anyone who will give another response. As soon as someone says, "Well, where should we meet?" "Well, my place." No, I'd rather go to the city. "Okay, that place." "Okay, done."
Exactly. That's it. You ended the conversation. Jesus.
Yep. But it gets funnier. It really does, or at least I think it does. Sometimes in my head, we have a conversation about this. It goes a little something like this. I'm sorry. That's a really tone deaf and unfortunate thing to say. So this is a response to the guy saying that she assumes he's a rapist. That's a really tone deaf thing and unfortunate thing to say.
But wait. Let's appreciate the hair color here.
Yes, there is that. There is that.
You know why it's unfortunate though, because he basically is talking about his feelings, right? That's not welcome.
Yeah, he's not supposed to have any feelings other than do what she wants.
At the same time, they have to be sensitive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but just sensitive to her feelings, but not
Yeah,
his.
to her feelings. Yeah.
But I loved it so much. One thing I have to think about, even though I'd rather not, even when I just want to have a date with someone who seems pretty cool, is risk. So going out means you have to be afraid.
All the time. Yes.
All the time. Welcome to the world of feminists where 1 in 5 women get raped.
No, it's 1 in 3 now.
What, one in 3? Yes, I know. Yes, it's 1 in 3. I know. Clementine Ford claimed that. But, well, 1 in 5...
Statistics bingo.
Yeah. Well, 1 in 5 has some sort of paper behind it. Now, the authors of the paper already said that they were wrong, but they still use it. The 1 in 3 thing doesn't really have a paper behind it. That's just Clementine Ford.
But and to continue on that, by the end of 2017, it will be 3 in 1.
3 in 1.
3 in 1.
Yeah. The trend.
Okay. Anyway, risk is an equation that we have to calculate all the time. Risk is balancing the likelihood that something will happen against the severity of consequence or outcome if it does happen. This is brilliant. I mean, I have to be afraid of something that might happen. I have to look at the likelihood that it will happen and combine those things in a way to basically have it, well, dictate my life. This is basically why dysphoria, fear, is growing in women, because feminists keep saying them, be afraid. It's scary. Here's an example of risk calculation. I'm going to wade through this group of angry ducks. What could possibly go wrong? Well, they could quack and peck me. The likelihood of this is high, but the negativity is where consequence of it is mild. So I'm going to go and get more in some like pecking groups and blah blah blah. Okay, so I think it's a dude. It's a dude.
He's a minority though. He's a person of color. So yeah.
It looks like it got mean.
Anyway, so he says high likelihood, mild consequence. Why not? Yep, sure was a lot of pecking. Quack quack quack. So this is the calculation. These are the risks. Am I willing to carry the risks?
Does anyone find this cartoon particularly bigoted? The poor person of color gets attacked by ducks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But he has a red mohawk.
So he's culturally appropriating in the natives, American natives as well.
Well, the American natives and the Celtic. I mean, he's a redhead.
The red hair.
Yes. Oh, but that's just the red hair, the red dye that they use. So. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, okay. Here are the elements of the date you just proposed.
Wow.
A man I don't know well, who now knows where I live, meeting alone in an isolated place away from other people, to a space that he knows and controls, to have drinks that I will not be preparing and may not know the content of, in an area of town that may not be easy for me to leave.
Wait. From the original conversation, let us assume she didn't give out where he lives. Where she lives.
Yeah.
Right, so...
But he wants to pick her up and go back to his house.
Right, but she said, I'll meet you downtown.
Yeah, no, but the original suggestion was I come pick you up and then we go to my place.
Yeah, but she doesn't give that information. How could this? Why does it say that?
How does she know that he's gonna serve drinks that she doesn't know the contents of?
No, because this is the elements of the date you just proposed are based on the thing he proposed. Where do you live? I'll pick you up and go back to my place. Which I mean, a man I don't know well. I don't know how often have you talked with the guy who knows where I live? Okay, you don't have to tell you where you live.
Exactly.
Meeting in an isolated place away from other people. Tell people where you go.
You can rate people in public places as well.
Yep, fair enough.
Mutually exclusive.
To a space that he knows and controls.
You can
no,
easily
that's
just
valid. That's
bring
valid.
pepper spray.
No, I'm going to say that's valid too. I mean, yes, I know my house and I control my house. You can still get out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a house. It's not as if it's a maze.
Mm.
Well, you can lock the front door.
Yeah, but you can open it from the inside as well, mostly.
Lock it.
Yeah, but most well, that's maybe in the Netherlands. On the inside, you can unlock it with a key.
Yeah.
Most often, not always, but often. To have drinks that I will not be preparing and may not know the contents of. Well, go to a bar and guess what? You're not preparing the drinks either.
Exactly.
And in an area of town that may not be easy for me. I mean, this is filled with assumption.
Exactly.
And fear.
And fear.
Feminist fear.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But this is, I mean, I remember that when I just started making videos responding to feminists, there was this one girl, and she was Danish, I think, but she was actually afraid of being raped in Denmark. I mean, it's one of the most, well, not anymore, but back in those days, it was one of the safer places. Mm-hmm. It's still pretty safe. Fair is fair. So but they are taught to be afraid. They're told to be careful and afraid because if anything happens to you, it's your fault and no one will help you. Mm-hmm. Now, okay, what's the likelihood of something bad will happen? Well, probably low. But if not, the potential outcomes are bad to severe. This is basically the calculation. The chances of something happening is low. But if it does, it will be bad.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I the only one that sees the primary problem behind this? Because what she's basically saying is that she's an agoraphobe. I don't want to go outside. There's a chance that I might get hit by a car.
For example.
Oh, she just shut it?
I think she's just a pessimist.
Well, yeah, that too. No, but
yeah.
I cannot go anywhere because if I go by bike, I might get hit by a bus. Now the chances of that happening are small, but when it happens, I'm dead.
True.
I can't walk to the city because a car might hit a curve and hit me.
No, I
Chances
can't even
slow,
drive
but-
my car. Oh my god. I can't drive my
Indeed.
car because there's
can't
more
drive my car.
crashes the year the plane crashes.
See?
Yeah.
That-
But then if you don't go outside, you can actually, there's a high possibility that you starve.
Well, yeah,
well.
you can order food, but then again, you have to open the door for the guy who you order food from, and the chances are small, but he could be a serial killer.
Alright.
How far do you want to go with this bullshit?
The hole is bottomless.
The hole is bottomless, but basically that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Possibility is low, outcome is severe.
Severe.
Well, that goes about everything that's bad. Well, there's a small chance that a plane will crash on my house, but there's a chance, so I better not stay in my house. So where do I stay?
Oh, that's...
It's like, it's raining out today. I could go outside, but I could get struck by lightning.
Yeah. Anyway, having a creepy guy creep on me without easy options for me to end the date early, harassing and stalking, blah, 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 escalating risk of violence, blah, 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 sexual or physical assault. These are the risks that she sees.
A creepy guy.
Yeah.
Why did she go out with him in the first place? Creepy
Men
guy.
or bids.
Huh?
Default, men are default creepy, yeah.
Yeah,
all men are creepy. That's
come on,
terrible.
all men are rapists.
Yep.
Yeah, but
And you
All
have to
men-
point it all out.
And you have to,
Pedophiles.
yep.
I thought only old guys with guys without muscles are creepy. You know, the non-attractive ones.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
the
because
ones
when,
with that really, really empty wallet.
yeah,
If
those
they're
are
not
creepy too.
fucking Chris Hemsworth, they're not worth it.
Yeah, indeed. It's somewhat painful, but yes. And this is then the case study they go with. After being walked home on a first date. Hey, that was fun. Want to get together again on Friday. Sorry, I have project work to do that night. Let's aim for Sunday. And then the response is project work. Who was that guy in your apartment all Friday evening then?
Ooh,
Who
jealousy
is-
already.
Yeah, but even if you're jealous, who responds like that?
Some controlling bitch, I'd say.
Some control freak, yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to be after a first date. Well, after a first date, someone is controlling like that. I can't think of anyone, and I work in psychiatry.
God, the next part's funny, but I'm stepping ahead of myself.
I'm sorry, I'm going on. I'm moving on. In the unlikely event that you do assault me, thank you for assuming that I will.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I will get when I try to speak up about it to authorities or others.
Mm.
The first one is, why did you go home alone with him?
Said no one ever.
I said,
No
one
police ever. No police ever said that.
No.
I can't even think anyone saying
what would happen is they would go to the guy's house and arrest him.
Yeah,
Exactly.
probably.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, did you watch him make the drinks or did you just take whatever he gave you? I've never heard anyone say that either.
Nope. Feminists too, but yeah, no real sane people do. No normal, everyday event. Yeah.
And that's what you get for meeting strangers from the internet. Again, never heard that. And I know people who are married because they met on the internet.
All went to Syria. So nice.
There is that too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put them in the same category, though.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I know. Yes, I understand. But it was a funny joke. Admit it. Come on, come on.
True. And this one, he brought you to his house. What did you expect? So whenever you go with a guy to his house, he's going to rape you. That's obvious.
All the time.
All the time. Can't be anything else, apparently. And it's just your word against his. When? Hell, I've seen people being thrown out of college and university because someone said someone raped someone else. And the person claiming that it was rape wasn't the victim, wasn't the perpetrator.
Yeah.
And the guy still got kicked out of university.
Exactly.
That the woman he had sex with actually said, no, this wasn't rape. Well, fuck it, he's still gone. So who's not believing your word? You're a woman, you're going to be believed. Unfortunately, because a lot of women out there lie about it. Which is terrible for the women who don't lie about it, because
yes,
too many women cry wolf, and yes, most of these women are feminists, which is terrible for the women that aren't crying wolf, but that are actually
Victims.
the real victims. They are actually harming even more the real victims.
Yeah, they really are.
Much like everything that social justice is.
Which is a big problem.
And I'm an anti-feminist, but that makes me really, really angry towards the real victims.
That we can see that example in Cologne right now.
Yeah.
You know, they remember the recent article saying we gotta fight and reclaim feminism from the bigots, and then they turn around and say, "Oh, we don't care about the victims; we care about the poor migrants that committed the crime."
Yeah, and that was actually happening. Hell, the 1st of January, I saw a news article claiming how New Year's Eve went quiet in Germany, and at first I'm like, why the fuck is this a news article? Why is it news that it went normal?
Which it didn't.
Which a few days later we find out didn't, because there was still massive rapes and attacks going on.
Yeah. So
feminism is not only a cancer, they're just trying to spin wool in front of us, trying to make us not see what's going on. And by at the same time claiming that men, well, especially white men, obviously, are the problem.
According to Lily Allen, she's only ever been sexually assaulted by white men. Ever. Ever. I
think at this point in time,
dating them either.
Well, I don't think white men will continue dating her. I can't believe that.
Well, unless it's Steve Shive's type.
Well, yeah, if they're told to date her. Anyway, this is pretty stupid, but let's continue.
Yeah.
So you're insistingly asking me to meet under circumstances that pose increased risks. Even though the likelihood of you harming me is low, the consequences of the possibilities that you will are significant. So basically we're back to agoraphobia. I cannot go outside because I might get hit by a car.
Mm-hmm.
The chances are low, but it's there. And then the second part, and the social and legal support I would attempt to access to address those consequences are diminished and compromised because of judgment around my decision to meet you despite the risk. And this, by far, is my biggest problem with this, because it's a blatant lie. If a woman just hints that she got attacked by a guy, the police are all over him.
Oh yeah.
They never believe the guy.
It's actually a form of domestic abuse. Yeah.
She doesn't have agoraphobia. I got the phobia. It's atikyphobia. ATYCHI phobia. It's the fear of it's the fear of consequences.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, that's a good point. It is a good point. It's a good point.
Some suffer due to the fear of risk-taking. Individuals coping with atikyphobia often have rigid and unrealistic expectations and/or excessive standards of behavior.
Actually, that's probably a way better one than agoraphobia. I like the one that I came up with, but yours is better.
Yes,
it really is better. Thank you.
It could be. They're not mutually exclusive. You could have them both.
Oh yeah. No, but I mean, my example is just to make clear that it's ridiculous that you're afraid of things that couldn't happen. But your example is way better at that, because basically what you're saying is, well, it's the fear of taking chances. Making decisions.
I was actually searching for something else. The fear. Let's see if I still have it here. The fear of consequences. Someone, but then when I wrote phobia, it appeared that the suggestions, and I said, "What? That's a phobia?"
I hate you all.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, Madwen.
Thank you for coming, nobody. I didn't think you'd still come, mate.
I am sorry. I had company coming over that I hadn't seen in a year, and I could not, in good conscience, tell them I had stuff to do.
What's her name?
It's not her, and
at
she's
your
getting
house?
married, and I'm going to her wedding at the end of the
It's
month.
not
so-
her, and she is getting married.
Yep.
Dude, if she's getting married,
It's not a her for me, yo.
How is it not a her for you? Is she a boy for you?
No, I don't have feelings for her, man.
I never said you did. I just said
Still
it's
female though.
Oh, are we just getting into assumptions here?
Yo.
Hey, I know nobody. Good to have you around, mate.
Hey, Madwen. How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? How was everything?
Oh well, same old, same old. I did put a small video out, basically saying "Happy Arbitrary Day." Most people should have gotten the hint, but people are still saying "Happy New Year." So no,
It's a figure of speech.
It's a figure. I know, and people mean well, and I say thank you, and I say Happy New Year to them too. But in all fairness, they're just other days, and Happy New Year to you too. But I will tell you the same, and I will tell everyone the same that I told my brother. When my brother and I were on the phone, he didn't really know what to say, and I said, you know what, I wish the same to you, but so do I on every other day of the year. So I wish you all the best, but that's not just because of Christmas. That's because I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And anyway, back to our frequent flyers on everyday feminism. You want to join in, by the way? Yeah, you want to join in. Of course, you want to join in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where was I? Oh, here I was. It is important to remember that society very often places the responsibility for preventing harassment, stalking, assault, and abuse on women, femfolk, and other groups who are likely to experience sexual, intimate violence or assault. You mean like male prison?
What the
Rape.
fuck is a femfolk?
I have no idea.
Femfolk.
I think if I had to guess, I would say femfolk is just identifying anyone who identifies as a female.
Yeah, could be true.
I mean, that'd just be a guess, but I don't know, because they call them menfolk and they call them trans folk and what was it that friggin'
Womenfolk?
No, Steve Shives likes to say a lot, LGBT folk.
Oh god, he's a fucking idiot.
He
Yeah,
is. He really is. Anyway, so yeah, femfolk. It's like fairy but different.
It's like fairy, but different.
And then we have two drawings. One of a girl with I don't know.
That's the headscarf.
Yeah, it's either very
Yeah.
weird hair or it's how do you call it? That's a hijab. No, that's a niqab.
Yeah.
No,
Kneecap?
No,
the
that's
kneecap.
Okay,
Yeah.
kneecap.
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 Bullet through the kneecap. Sorry, I'm drifting.
The IRA used to do that a lot.
True that.
So did the mafia.
Yes, as well. Yes.
Okay, anyway, the kneecap one is we're expected to perform risk calculation comprehensive and accurately all the time, and we're expected to always choose correctly and prudently. And then the one in the wheelchair is we're expected to constantly and correctly take action to reduce the likelihood that we may be harmed by others and reduce the severity of the harm we endure. And all I can say is,
Who's we? Everybody is
indeed.
that.
How is this not true for everyone?
Apparently, it's not just feminists. Women.
It's like the teal deer thingy. Meteor strikes Earth. Women mostly affected.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Remember,
Expect to be
road freezes over, women mostly affected.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like this one. This is the one.
Can
that
I just finish this? The first, there's two.
Yeah. There you go.
This shows a certain mentality of almost a childlike mentality, wanting to be protected and doing everything, so they expect to be protected. Not they don't want to protect themselves; they expect to be protected, like parents do to children.
That's a good point, actually.
It's kind of honestly how they all react.
Yeah.
They don't want. I think it's more a reaction to they just don't want to grow up yet.
And that brings
Well,
on to now what you were going to say.
This is
Second
this is
part.
what I like. I mean, these are things. Don't walk home alone. Don't carry pepper spray. Why did you fight back? Don't act like pushovers. Dress appropriately. Don't let strangers walk you home. You made him fighting back. Don't act confrontational. Don't draw attention to yourself. And you should have let him down easier. Now, I'm reading it like this on purpose, because if you read them horizontally, it says this: don't walk home alone, but don't let strangers walk you home as well. Carry pepper sprays to defend yourself, but you made him mad by fighting back.
Oh God.
So you're not supposed to do this, and you're not supposed to do that. Why didn't you fight back harder? Don't act confrontational. Those two don't go together as well. Don't act like a pushover. Don't draw attention to yourself. This is the one thing that I do find funny, because the last two, dress appropriately, and you should have let him down easier. They are not in contrast with each other. But all the ones in front of this are in contrast with each other.
They contradict each other. Yes.
Brilliant.
That's what I meant when I said that they expect to be protected. They don't want to protect themselves. They can walk through a busy highway and expect the cars to swerve and miss them.
Or they can walk down a bad avenue with their wallet out and swinging it around, not expecting anyone's going to mug them.
Touch them. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what annoys me more, the fact that I'm reading these or the fact that these are all appropriate responses to different situations and shouldn't be grouped together at all.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
but they group them together in a way that they contradict each other. So, meaning that they expect to be protected and coddled.
I think that the reason why it's contradicting each other is to say that no matter what the woman decides, she can't swim. She's in a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
Well,
in the same vein, you can apply all of these to a man.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
These are non-gendered. You can apply all of these to a man, and you can get the exact same results. So I don't. It
Actually,
doesn't.
Men are more likely to get physical attacks than women.
Yes.
Why didn't you fight back harder? Why'd you fight back? Don't act confrontational. You could apply all those to the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When we fail to successfully do all the things we're supposed to do and get harmed, we are likely to hear, well, you were kind of asking for it.
Never ever uttered.
I'm serious. Well, I'm not going to say women are never going to be told that they were asking for it, but they sometimes actually are asking for it.
Do you want to know when I use that? Because I utter that phrase a lot. You want to know where I use it? When I see some dumbass get karma smacking them in the face.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Like if you're standing on the side of the road and jumping back when cars drive by and you get hit, well, you were kind of asking for it, and I don't feel bad for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Indeed. But if you get raped by someone you trusted, that's not your fault. I'm not going to tell you asked for it.
Of course.
No, if anything, I'm probably going to go hunt down the person who did it. But you know,
put him.
That's
exactly.
just me.
Yes.
That's just me.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's most men. That's the problem we as men have. We believe women because we want to believe them.
It is genetic. In fact, it is biological.
It is biological.
It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with our real culture at all. Because other animals do the same.
This is why I'm so very interested in the MGTOW movement. Not because I consider myself a MGTOW, but they are really going against their genetic coding. They really are. It's amazing that people can live a happy life whilst going against their genetic coding. That doesn't happen a lot. So in this, I am really interested in MGTOW. Not because I want to become one, or not because I think they are right, but because well,
to see how they yeah, exactly.
I
How
don't know
they
about
think.
could you explain
So
genetic
Muslim
coding?
men,
If
they're like
it's,
Muslim men that like beats women, and Muslim women like
you
would
know,
flog a woman or stone a woman.
when you
These
say
are numbers.
Modwayne, when you say
Yes.
genetic coding, you mean against like procreation or something? Or why?
Our whole existence is based on our DNA. We do things based on what our DNA, our genetics tells us to.
Well, how do you
Um,
explain that
Yeah,
most
but look at. I just wanted to give you a counter example. An artist, right, or somebody who is really driven, an inventor. Um, they might not necessarily have the time to invest into a relationship or building family, and there might still be a drive, like maybe even biological drive to leave something behind that kind of stays around longer after you die. You know,
yeah, but MGTOW
you have
doesn't
to
do
be
that.
driven for that. You know, I don't know, I'm just thinking maybe, you know, if you look at the MGTOW argument, that might be an argument as well. You know, that you can only reach your full potential if you concentrate on yourself and don't
Well, it could be.
put many resources into relationships.
It could be. But then again, if we look back at Nietzsche's work, he was also very much about the development of self and et cetera, et cetera. But he didn't go against women. He didn't go against the relationship that men and women could have with each other.
Well,
But
on top of that,
Schopenhauer
it's
did.
also in the vein of what the man or woman would view as their full potential. Because some people might want to just dedicate their lives toward trying to raise a family because that's what they view as their greatest creation, something
Yeah,
that they
but
can leave behind to pass on their knowledge and
Well,
their wisdom and
in-
so on
in
and
a-
so forth.
everybody does that, right?
In a
But
way, this is
not
also
everybody
what.
writes like 9 symphonies or something like that. You know,
True,
look at it that
but
way.
in a way,
Yeah.
that's also what Nietzsche was all about. I mean, that's why Nietzsche felt that the family was important. You just had to put everything in its own place. But for a man, the most important thing for a man is to procreate. The most important thing for a woman is to procreate. Everything else is to make that easier.
For a man,
Well, for men and women.
but for a mind.
But that's basically what our minds is programmed to do.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, on average, men find women attractive and women find men attractive. So, yeah, there is that. And because of the way that our mind is set up, men are predetermined in a way to protect women. So as soon as a woman says she got attacked, men will stand up and see what they can do to help.
10 out of 10 can confirm Modwayne is a homophobe.
Oh no.
Well, anyway.
He doesn't deny it.
Nope.
Well,
Not going to bother.
Jump down his throat.
Anyway, but we get this kind of reaction. Okay, no one ever said that they were asking for it, but apparently they get this reaction. So if I go downstairs, driving is pretty risky. It's totally possible every time you drive that you may be involved in a collision or accident, which can range from minor car damage to multiple deaths. We all know someone who has been involved in moderate or serious car accidents. Basically, this is why I gave the example of agoraphobia. Because if we continue on her own narrative, then that would be the reason why you don't want to drive in a car. It's absolutely possible that I will be hit by someone who's driving recklessly, but that's a risk many of us accept every day, and I'm unlikely to have to shoulder a lot of responsibility and blame for that accident. And there we have the woman again. How come I have to shoulder the responsibility and blame when someone rapes me? Well, that's bullshit. No one is asking you to shoulder that responsibility. Nope. I'm already getting cranky. I've read it before.
Again, it depends on what they think rape is. Okay.
Well, yeah, there is stare rape.
Yeah, stare rape.
Yep, there is stare rape.
And side stare rape, when you
Side
sort
stare
of rape
rape.
someone or when you're not looking at them directly.
And then, of course, there's the rape of not listening.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And the rape
Ignore
of
rape.
calling.
Is that that ignore rape? Is it?
Or
Yeah, that's a-
regret.
Ignore rape as
Being
well.
with
Yeah.
regret.
Oh,
Anyway, this goes on a little bit. Shall we continue? We're nearly to the end. We should. We really should. Anyway, so if it's okay for me to accept the risk of being on the road during a rainstorm, why isn't it okay for me to accept the risk of going on a date with a stranger? Well, who says it's not okay to have that risk? Who is asserting this? You're asserting this yourself.
It's a straw man.
if you're a
So
protected
this-
child,
Sorry?
if you're a protected child, then
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot the word you used, Carlos. Something phobia.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that
So
one.
did I.
Oh, fuck it. It's okay though. I can still go with agoraphobia with this. But yeah, you're right. I mean, she's afraid of making a decision, and no matter what the outcome of that decision will be, it's going to be her fault. Therefore, I'm not going to make any decision at all. My need for an environment and context in meeting you that feels safer for me is not a reflection on you as a person, but based on my actual lived experience of evaluating risk and experience, etc., etc., etc. And the constant awareness of social blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, I'm not even going to finish this. Because basically what she's saying is that whenever she goes out, she gets raped.
The word is atikiphobia.
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 But what she's saying here is, I mean, my need for an environment and context in meeting to feel safer for me is not a reflection of you, but it's on my actual lived experience. So she has actually lived through the experience where she wasn't safe because she was getting raped.
Oh my
Because that's what she's trying to prevent.
Yeah, I think like that whole thing, lived experience. That's a bit of a weasel word. My lived
Yeah.
experience. It's such a weasel word.
It's a huge weasel
Her
word.
lived experience of evaluating risk and experiencing unsafe situations. So it's her evaluating risk and experiencing unsafe situations. That's her lived experience.
I'm sorry, by the way, guys. Is someone still looking at the chat? Because I'm curious what people are saying. I'm not looking at the chat because I have to share screen. And
Sorry, I'm playing No Man's Sky here all the time.
Oh well,
My
no,
my
they're
God,
not
not
listening.
no
That's
man.
usual.
Haven't really got much.
They're ignoring.
And drinking whiskey. The
Bless
bean
you.
grabs my hand.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, bless you.
I should have said Gesundheit, maybe.
No,
Gesundheit, yeah.
That's German.
Gezondheid.
Gesundheit.
Gezondheid. Well, in the Netherlands we say Gezondheid too, so it doesn't matter much.
Okay.
Anyway, let's continue then because not a lot of things going on in the chat. It seems. I'm sorry, people in the chat. Normally I will pay more attention to you, but yeah, screen sharing. Fuck that. I need to get 2 screens. I do.
I have 3.
Fuck you.
It's my laptop and
No
two,
Man's-
my two computer screen. My 2 computer screens for one.
So you
computer.
could actually play No Man's Sky, be on a hangout, and watch the chat at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm watching. I'm actually have also I have Twitter deck subscriptions, which is the chat, the article, and I'm looking up stuff on Google. So yeah.
He's looking up porn.
Anyway,
Yes.
I'm going to
Okay.
continue
Research.
because
It's
we're
called
nearly
research.
done,
It's called
and
research.
I really want to get through this bullshit. Because here is the last two panes. Well, not the last 2 panes, but for now the last 2 panes. So
I
I'd
know.
very much prefer to meet in a space that is accessible and comfortable for both of us, and I'd be happy to negotiate a meeting space that tries to meet both our wishes. She doesn't even know what his wishes are.
I want to meet behind the Walmart with a laser tag gun at 12 p.m. when the sun is as high in the sky as it can possibly be, and I want you to bring me a candy cane. Is that safe enough for you?
Yeah, but it gets
Oh, and
better.
before you leave, I'm going to rape you. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Don't want you to be running with anything.
Yeah, if
Just
you want,
figure you should
if
know.
you want to take a female condom, that would be a good idea.
if you want to go ahead and get get your tubes tied so you don't get pregnant, it'll make things great because I don't have a vasectomy and I'm not a big fan of condoms. Just figured I'd let you know. Yeah, we're raw balling.
Anyway, this is the conversation that she would like to, what she thinks she would have. And we already are like, what the fuck? But okay, it's not the conversation she's going to have, but it's not actually my job to fucking educate you. You're already being an asshole about this, so never mind.
No, cunt, it is your job to fucking educate me because unfortunately for you, not every woman I'm going to run into on the fucking street happen to have someone forcefully enter their vagina. Believe it or not, it's actually not that common of a thing as you might want it to be.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Not everyone is going to live your same fucking experience. Get the fuck over yourself. You have to conform to our life, not the other way around.
And then, of course, it ends with, wow, I think it's pretty messed up that you are just default assuming I'm a creepy racist or something. And, you know, yeah,
I am a
you're
creepy racist.
But most people are not. And when I say most, I think, I don't know how many, but I'm willing to guess it's going to be less than 1 in 10,000.
We're all a little bit racist. It's true.
Yeah.
All right then.
I think you got two choices here, right? Either reality is fucked up or you are mentally ill.
Yeah, and in this case, I'm thinking she's mentally ill.
Yep, she has active. I can't say that word. Jesus. Atikiphobia.
Atikiphobia.
Okay.
But I like.
There's also decidiphobia, the fear of making decisions.
Okay, but I like the last pain though. I mean the last picture because there she is standing in her purple shirt and her blue hair, basically looking angry at the guy who's already walking away because he had enough.
Mm-hmm.
Her purple shirt and her blue hair, like every other woman in the friggin' 2000s.
Yeah.
And no tits.
And no tits.
Well, hey, listen. There are two types of feminists out there from the pictures I've saw. There are the ones with indeed no tits, and there are the ones with tits on the front and on the back.
Mm-hmm.
No tits or tits on the front and back.
That's about it.
That's
Anyway,
horrible.
Yeah, you're right. Let's not bother. I mean, I like the fact that in this conversation, she is the one that says, yeah, you're right, let's not bother. In my imagination, if a woman comes up with, and I'm going all the way back to the beginning, if a woman comes up only with this, I'm looking forward to meet you, where shall we meet? There, we can meet there. And she's like, yeah, no, blah, blah, blah. And then for whatever reason, I might say, well, you know, it's a good movie on tonight. I want to watch the movie. Yeah, I'd rather meet downtown because blah, 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 blah. Then I'm like, you know what? Maybe you're not worth my effort.
Yeah. Also, what's with the finally? What's the like prologue of this? How much time did she invest beforehand? Finally meet you? Was she chatting with him like for 2 years?
It doesn't really say, does it?
Bit of a mystery, that one.
No,
yeah, you're right there. I mean, they could have been speaking for weeks and months and years and whatnot.
Yeah.
Hell,
This is impossible demands of dating under the pressure of rape culture. I'm just gonna go ahead and there's a very simple way to say this. Just say no.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to his house? No.
Don't date.
Yeah. You don't want to go to his house? Just say no. If he has a problem with it, don't date him.
Yep.
Exactly.
If he has a dog,
Simple.
yeah, I don't know. If he has a dog, you might want to do something else about it.
Dogs are nice. I like
Dogs.
dogs.
Are nice.
Dogs, animals are nice, so that's it.
What
Hoppa.
do you mean? Like,
So
if he has a dog, you might want to fuck that?
No. It was something my sister said.
Okay, what did she say?
She said unless he has a dog, then you can go to his house.
Okay.
Why? As if a dog.
Because dogs make everything better.
That's true.
I don't think dogs will make rape better.
I beg to differ. Look, a lot of people aren't very imaginative, so they can't lie back and think of England. So in this place, they can just lie back and pet the puppy.
At least they can lick your hand while it happens.
Yeah, at least they can lick your hand while it happens. Okay, so let me think. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 news hot spots in hell tonight.
Just 6.
Just 6.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a cool number. It's a nice round number.
6.
Yeah, this conversation is someone who has absolutely has acticophobia, with some agoraphobia, and is a total cat lady. Has about 57 cats in her
Shut
apartment.
him.
The crazy cat lady.
I wonder whether she will have cats though. Because if she would die, cats would eat her.
Look, I don't know
course.
if she'd want to
It's
be
not a
surrounded.
problem.
I'll be honest. I don't know if she'd want to be surrounded by that much pussy. She sounds pretty unconfident as it is.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay.
That's apt. That's
Yeah, that's pretty brilliant.
Can't fault that. Yeah,
Can't fault that
that.
at all. That's Rin, what do you think? Or is Rin gone?
I'm here. What do I think about what?
Well, he's just talking about shit and how dogs make everything better.
Just beating around the bush there, are you?
I like dogs. I like.
We're talking about dogs making rape better. Just gonna be blunt about it. Just gonna be straight up blunt about it.
It's just silly. Never mind that.
Yeah. It's just. Oh god. Anyway, guys, I'll
You're
be
welcome.
leaving you. It was an awesome chat, and I love you guys.
Well, thanks for coming, mate.
Thank you for having me on. Again,
Nice to
always.
see you again.
Yep.
See you next time, mate.
Same. Oh yeah, absolutely. And
if you're going to do another stream about any topic you find interesting, let me know. I might not be coming on it, but I might take it down and try to make some nice
oh yeah, absolutely.
videos from it.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
We can plan that. Do something. Cause absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Okay,
Anyway.
guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you and bye. Thank you. Bye, chat.
Bye.
Bye.
Anyway, so back to us. Anyone else have something to share, or shall we just shit talk till I don't know, half an hour left?
Childhood obesity is linked to depression and stress.
Oh yeah, you linked that one. Yes. Yeah, that's a good topic.
It was actually kind of just something that I was thinking about because I was watching a bunch of videos about a bunch of kids complaining that their school meals aren't getting, they're not filling them up, right? And this is America's whole idea to combat childhood obesity is to start minimizing the amount of calories that kids can eat during lunch. Okay, it seems like a smart idea until you realize that 90% of the kids are leaving lunch hungry and throwing away about twice as much food as they were the previous years before these things were instituted. I think another way to go about that would be helping deal with a lot of the stress and fixing the educational system instead of just taking away kids'
they're
foods.
leaving. There's two options, right? They're leaving lunch hungry because the food is shit, or because they have no appetite because of the whole.
Mostly, I would say it's the food shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they try to. Their whole basic point to cutting things out is smaller portions and no salt.
Well,
Yeah.
no salt at all is never a good thing. I mean, unfortunately, we're used to the taste of salt.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, so salt's not healthy, but basically everything isn't healthy in large amounts. And kids are basically hyperactive balls of fucking energy. It's not like giving them a little bit extra food is gonna hurt them.
It's not the food that makes it bad. It's the stress about having too much food. Yes, problem. Sugar, huge problem.
Carbohydrates,
Yeah.
Fat, not so much of a problem, to be honest. We like to think it is, but it's not. But yeah, movement. Kids need a lot of movement. They need to expand their physical energy. So yeah, whether it's recess or whether it's PE, it's called physical education, right? PE.
Yeah, PE.
If they have PE every day, it doesn't matter as long as they have plenty of time to expend physical energy. I mean, in the Netherlands, there are some schools that have actually gone to a mandatory run every day for about half an hour.
When I went to school, we had to run every Wednesday, but usually it was just once a week, and it was only a mile, and then they would let us do whatever else.
Yeah, that's basically when I was a kid too. The new approach is no, we're going to run for half an hour every day. The distance is not the issue. The time is the issue. We're going to be busy for a while. So we don't have to go fast. We don't have to go blah, blah, blah. But we are going to move. Expend that physical energy.
You know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like a better way of expending physical energy would be to get them involved in sports, not just running.
To me, yeah, I think it would be nice if we had more fun activities. It's kind of like kids cannot skate if they wanted to. Like, not even if they brought their own skates, they can't skate or anything. If they had more chances to do physical activities that they will probably enjoy, like football, soccer. We have that, but we don't have skating for people who would like to skate. If people could do physical activities that they would like, they would exercise more. And not only as kids, but into adulthood. Oh, I hate exercising. There are many adults who hate exercising because they don't get to do the exercises that they like. When skating is still exercising and it could be fun. Dancing is still exercising and it can be fun. But it's kind of
it doesn't matter. The whole idea is that they go running or walking or at least expending physical energy because it's part of the school curriculum.
Yeah, they should do something.
I do agree that sports like soccer or football or tennis or whatever.
Not even just get them involved in something they like, because kids are infinitely more likely to expend a lot more energy if they're doing something they like. You know, I dreaded the run. I hated it.
Yeah, but there's a difference between the run we did and the run they are doing now. Because now they're just running and it's a big toy and it's a big game. Hell, play tag.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, I agree with Taylor. I do think that kids like, because then they'll be more invested into it, and we wouldn't have adults obesity either, because even adults are really fat in this country, and that's because people are not used to doing exercises that they like. When really, if people could, you know, try skating, try dancing, and just exercise, find something you like to do and just do that, and then that's the way it would carry with you onto adulthood, and you would have adults that would like to exercise. We can even adults obesity levels.
Well, I'm going to respond to what Warped is saying in the chat now. They're not allowed to play tag because kids fall and hurt themselves.
That is
luckily
absolutely 100%
in the
true.
Netherlands. That's not the case.
We're not allowed to play tag. We're not allowed to play dodgeball. We're not allowed to play kickball anymore.
Yeah,
dodgeball is a lot of fun. Well, how come kids are
not hide and seek anymore?
Well, hide and seek isn't good because then you just run and you hide and you sit still.
Depending on how you played it. We did a lot of running when we play hide and seek, but
really?
Yeah, because when I used to play it when I was a kid, we did, it was like freeze tag hide and seek. You got found, you had to run, you had to make your way back to base. If you didn't make your way back to base and you were tagged, you were frozen, or you became another tagger.
Oh, okay.
You know, there was more to it than just sitting in one spot and waiting for someone to find you. We wound up changing hiding spots a lot. We'd be watching to see where the guy was looking to see if we could get away. You know, there was a lot more involved.
Fair enough. But in all fairness, playing games like that, yeah, sure, it's physical, but because the school only has a certain amount of time, just going for a run is more effective. The whole trick is that it's just about expending physical energy, but the trade-off is that by doing so, these kids are performing better at school.
Yeah, physical energy, they have more time to focus on things.
Once their physical energy is gone, yes, they have more time to focus, which is, well, old news, but apparently some people think it's news.
Oh, also, another game that I wanted to mention was kids aren't allowed to play cops and robbers anymore.
Why not?
Why?
Because,
well, kill the cops, obviously.
Yeah,
No,
actually. No, because police violence, police brutality. That's legitimately.
One second, guys. 1 second. Raven wants to say something. He's really quiet.
I just thought. risk of injury. You know, no catch and no catch up games, basically nothing physical.
Yeah, I
Risk
don't
of
know.
injury is going to happen in everyday life, unfortunately. And you know what? Kids are more likely to heal a lot better than adults.
True that.
Yeah,
So
by the way, why are
they can
kids
stand
not
getting smacked
allowed to
around.
play dodgeball?
Risk of injury.
You just
Yeah,
give
exactly.
I mean, that's part of being a kid, though. It's like we're
When
overprotecting
But
kids.
I've actually got a story about it because the last time I played dodgeball, I was in ninth grade, and I remember it was the last game of dodgeball that we ever had on my high school campus because there was a girl who was playing on the opposite team, and she got pegged in the head, and she got a concussion,
Oh,
and her parents threatened to sue the school. She
shit.
didn't
oh,
care. She was fine. The next day, she
Yeah.
was back in class like nothing had happened. But her parents threw the
Fucking
world's
heads.
biggest shit fit. My daughter got hurt in your PE class. Your coach is negligent. How dare he let them? It was a shit show from beginning to end, and
Shit.
my fucking coach was pissed because we heard all about it.
Yeah, that's beyond reasonable, to be honest. But this is the thing, though. I mean,
Litigation
and this is
culture, right? You Americans invented it.
well,
Litigation
but we
culture.
see the same thing happening in Europe as well. Because, for example, if we look in the Netherlands, we have military schools. These are schools for people to be trained as an officer. Education-wise, the education you get there is equal to a university. But they also have to train physical. So now tell me this, how come after the same years of training, they have a degree which is equal to a university, but they're fucking trained like a soldier? We know this works because they've been doing it for 300 years, 400 years. And what we see in the normal schools is that we break off more and more PE. Oh no, well yeah, we have to change the schedule. We don't have money. Well, let's cut PE.
Wasn't mandatory military service a really big tradition in a lot of ancient cultures?
Well, it was in the Netherlands. I can't
I
say.
mean, like in Greece and the Roman Empire and such, where a lot of the great philosophers came from.
Yes, but especially during the end time of the Roman Empire, people got out from under their civic duties. So yeah, it was mandatory, but no one really paid attention to it. And this is true in most Western world countries. Though we had mandatory military service for a year or a bit longer. I think you had it in Germany as well, didn't you, Raven?
Oh yeah, but long before. Well, that was during my time. So they had this thing. I actually did civil service, and you had to write a letter if you were denying the draft, and then you'd have to, instead of doing, I think in my time it was, you'd have to do 16 months of military or 20 months as a civil servant, and the thing was you'd have to you'd have an extra 4 months because as a draftee, you could be called back for reserve exercises to make up for the 4 months, but you had to give a reason, and there was still court, what's it called, was it like court hearings where you have to they'd ask you a question like, what happens if your girlfriend gets attacked on the street, will you do nothing, be a pacifist, or will you attack the attacker or something, will you defend her,
If my
and the
girlfriend gets
right
attacked,
answer wasn't yes or no, but you'd have to kind of exhibit that you were in conflict about it, and then they said okay, then you can deny, and you can actually do civil service instead, But that's long gone. It's postcard solution now.
Yeah.
if my girlfriend was attacked on the street, there'd be a lot of people shitting teeth at night.
Yep.
I'm just gonna let that. Just gonna
And
say that.
I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I think it's a bit of a conflation to think that if you were going to kind of draw blood for your girlfriend, would you also do it for your country? That's two different things. It's very
Yeah.
abstract.
like I'll protect my family, sure, but I'm not 100% sure about protecting a lot of these assholes riding in the streets. That's not my
Yeah.
prerogative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's double anyway because no, never mind. We started on this because of the kids getting fat, and I seriously don't think people are getting fat because of what they eat only. There's
No.
more to it than that. And yes, kids with stress tend to move less and eat more.
Yeah.
And the main issue is not what they eat. The main issue is how do they move. And the more you limit movement, yeah, the bigger the problem gets, I think.
Of course, you don't let them exercise their metabolism. Okay.
Yeah, indeed.
The biggest thing about kids, they have high metabolisms. If you don't
Yeah.
let them exercise it and use it,
They have to run it. They have to run it off. They have to
Yep.
spend
They
their
have to do
physical
something.
energy.
This is what you see like in families that use food stamps. I see a lot of obese kids in families that have food stamps because they don't, their parents don't let them go outside or let them do anything. You know,
Yeah,
they live in a bad area.
and that really is that's the base problem. The not moving part, and especially for boys. For women, this is a problem too, but for men, this is a huge issue because our whole metabolistic system, our whole physical development is different than that of women. We have a bigger intake, but that's because we use more calories to build up our bodies. But if we do not build up those bodies because we don't move enough, it just gets stored and you get fat. I mean, this is a problem for women too, but it's a bigger problem for men because it happens to men faster.
Oh yeah.
Well, if they don't move, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's happening to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially if you look at now, parents giving their kids Ritalin and Adderall because, oh no, yeah, they're too rowdy, they're too active. We don't want them to be active. Yeah, but they need to be active. They need to expend their energy. They need to expend the foods that they eat. Their body is telling them they need to eat these foods. Their bodies are also telling them we need to move. Yeah, but I'm telling them they shouldn't. That's your problem.
Yeah, that's because protective these days. They're afraid of this could get their kids killed, that could get their kids killed. But like when I was little, like I would like ride my bike here and ride my bike there. But
Well,
now
yeah, it's helicopter parenting. Like in the 70s, and I always hear stories from my mother about how she would go out on like she lived in a very rural area. She would play in the ditches and do a bunch of stuff and things that I only got to experience for a brief time before it just started to get like, oh, you can't go outside because it's dangerous out there, you know.
And
I only got a glimpse of that. I only had it like till I was age 5, where I could go out and be safe.
Yeah.
you know what the worst part about it is too is it's not necessarily an unfounded fear.
Mm.
I really can't say that it isn't an unfounded fear because the world is kind of a bad place now. You can't really go hitchhiking without worrying about the next guy to you because everyone's becoming more self-centered or more self-reliant, self-centered, I should say. More looking out for themselves than anyone else. There's less of a community sense. It's more of a
You mean empathy?
individualistic. Yeah,
You mean empathy, really? Not just
yeah,
community. I mean, it's just a person to person, right? But
yeah.
isn't that something that also the social justice warriors have brought about?
Yeah.
Because of the collectivist thinking, actually, empathy goes out the window because there's no individualist kind of sense of the other. That sense of person to person.
Well,
It's
right, right,
we
right.
all think in kind of categories.
Right, but I mean, on the other end, there's also an increase in people in the world, and with an increase in people comes an increase in a lot of sick people, a lot of
Yeah.
sick people who
I
just
don't
want to
think
hurt
that, to be
people.
honest. No, I don't think that. I don't think we have a larger number of sick people who want to hurt people. In all fairness, on average in Europe, crime statistics have gone down.
yeah, it seems in America, the crime statistics have actually gone down. We're actually safer now than people would have been in. It's
Indeed.
just that fear has gone up, and people are like, well, you could be abducted, you could do this, you could do that, but it's just
Yeah.
like,
And something is feeding us that fear.
Down
The
here,
media,
what's feeding us
the
that
media,
fear
it's
is
they've
a lot
been
of reports about it.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Kinda
it's the
coming up
media.
everywhere.
Just media.
It was a few the child care rapists or like something like that happened in the 80s, the late 80s, early 90s that completely threw like everybody into a hysteria.
Here, it's less of a media sense and more of a you actually kind of know the person who did it, and it makes it really awkward. Really awkward.
Yeah,
It's
but
scary.
I mean, just in my neighborhood alone, and I live in a pretty nice neighborhood, we've had someone shot at our clubhouse and killed who I knew, who I went to school with. We've had people falling off of our school buildings down at the middle school in my neighborhood. I actually was friends with someone who I grew up with who wound up shooting a gun into an open house just for fucking kicks and ran off down the road. You know, I know a lot of these people. Really? Who? You know, there's a lot of firsthand experiences with this stuff, at least around here. So maybe it's not out there the rest of the world, but in the places that I grew up in, I definitely can understand where the fear of letting your kids go kind of roam free and do all this other stuff can be from, because I've seen a lot of it.
Well, you could be right. In all fairness, you could be right. But
I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong, and it could all just be the coincidences and the places I happen to be in. But I do see it. I can't in good, it would be intellectually dishonest of me to say that I don't see this stuff.
But in all fairness, stuff already happened.
Yes, that is true. That is 100% true.
And
Stuff already happens, stuff always will happen.
yeah, and we know that on average, less stuff happens now than it used to.
Yes, that is true.
But we also,
Awareness is bigger.
but the awareness is bigger, and the fear is bigger.
I guess maybe when it happens, it creates a bigger boom.
Anyway, I'm gonna call it a night, guys.
Yeah, we're all going to call it a night, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah, I need
Thanks for having me.
We're slowly ending the stream. I'm going to stop you because first I'm going to do my little thing, and then I'm going to let you all say goodnight.
All right.
I'll start with you. Go ahead, Raven.
All right. Well, I say good night and happy New Year to all of you. Working on a thing with Skeptor, so watch out on my channel. New song coming up shortly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, actually. I really am. And I hope you will give thought to my request.
Oh yeah, I'll look into it.
We can Skype one. Oh, I asked 2 people to do some creative work for my personal channel.
Ah,
Definitely.
So yeah, I'm really yeah. Okay. Anyway, nobody, you want to say something before you?
Happy New Year's. It was nice talking to you all for the first stream of the year, and check out my channel.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not going to put links down. I'm fucking lazy today. But yeah, do check out Nobody's channel. It is pretty cool. Ramblings of Nobody. The Ramblings of Nobody. Google it. No, YouTube it. Okay, just do it. Rin. Rin.
Oh, Happy New Year's, everybody, and please check out my channel. I mean, I had been lucky enough to interview so many people, and I mean, I don't really do that anymore, but I do like talk about politics and shit. So please check out my channel.
Yep. Rin Michaels. Check her channel out as well. Coconuts.
Well, I wish everybody a happy new day of a new life, you know, and that we have a good year. Hopefully, a lot of fun things to talk about.
Yes, let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Yeah, if 2016 was jam packed with insanity, let's see what 2017 brings us, right?
True that. There is only hope. There's nothing else.
Oh yeah, stay hopeful.
Anyway, you're welcome, and I love the people that came, and I also love you people for joining us in the chat. And hi there, Psycho. Thanks for stopping by just in time for us to wave goodbye. Thank you, everyone else in the chat. I'm sorry I didn't pay as much attention to the chat this time because of the screen sharing bullshit. I'm really not good at that. But I will hope to see you all next week. And this is where I'm going to turn off the broadcast. So, bye-bye.